sister, Charlie Brown Bird, surely Christmas was about more than money and presents. Oh, where's Big Pen? You see him? He's dancing.
Oh, he's a running lady.
Do you know what this guy's name is?
I'm Angela. I have 2 kids, and my husband's name is Jeff. My kids are Brady and Cooper. Cooper is 6 and Brady is 3. They're great kids, and they make my life so full. I didn't spend my whole life dreaming to be a mom or anything, but now that I have these 2 kids, it's I can't imagine not having kids, and I can't imagine my whole life not revolving around them. I mean, I can barely remember what I used to do 6 years ago before I had kids. What did I do with all my time? I was raised Catholic, and I went to Catholic school growing up. And that is all I knew of church until kind of recently. As a child, I kind of remember always having questions and always trying to figure things out that didn't make sense to me. And I certainly remember in that environment, you kind of don't ask questions. You just kind of go along with what they're telling you to say and repeat and memorize and stuff like that. After my parents got divorced when I was in 2nd grade, I don't remember feeling support from the church or the school. If anything, kind of the opposite. I kind of felt like a little bit of an outcast once my parents got divorced. And then when I was in 6th grade, I started getting bullied pretty bad in school by a group of girls, and it was awful. It got worse and worse to the point where, I was crying every day coming home from school, and I ended up having to transfer out of the school mid-year because things had just gotten so bad. So I ended up going to public school at that point. I think from the time I started high school on, I don't remember thinking much about God. And then at the same time that was happening, that was when I was starting to realize I loved science. I loved science. As soon as I started really being able to take more advanced classes when I got into high school and stuff, that was it for me. I went to college and I majored in marine biology and chemistry, and you learn so much about evolution and the origins of life, and there's no talk of God. Actually, it's the opposite. If you do speak of God, no one takes it seriously. Nobody that is really a hardcore scientist would ever bring up creationism or intelligent design as a real theory to how we're here. Everything was considered random and things like that. And I was completely all for it. That is completely what I believed. I believe we evolved from apes and that everything is natural selection and we are here by accident, and that was what I believed. Right after I got back, I met my husband. We've had a great life together. He was Catholic, and it seemed to fit so well. Oh yeah, you're Catholic too. It was we're kind of in the same club. I played the part of, yeah, I'm Catholic and I know what to say in church and I know the rituals and I can take communion and I fit right in. I will go along with everybody else is doing, but I don't have faith in any of this. Do I wish that this existed? Of course, but did I believe that was actually happening? No way. Life went on that way for a long time. And life was good. We have a great life together, but there was always a hole. There was always something in me that was missing, for sure. And then one day, I needed a new nanny. So I started looking around on the internet. We've been through a couple at this point, and I found this girl named Amanda. And as I got to know Amanda, the longer she worked for us, she was telling me why they were here, and they were here to, her husband was starting a church, and I thought, that's cool, right on. It doesn't impact me. She'd been with us maybe 6 months or something like that, and then she kind of slides this little flyer over to me, and she's like, oh, this is when our first service is launching, and you don't have to go, but if you want to go, that'd be great. So yeah, I went that first night to Resonate on their launch, and I had zero expectation. I just was showing up for a friend. And then Davey starts talking, and that kind of was coming out to me more as I was listening to him, thinking, man, I wish there was this guy named Jesus, and I wish he really was still up there watching down over all of us, and that, I wish that would be true. I still don't think it's true, but I wish it were. And I don't know, the more he talked and the more I listened, something just, a chord struck inside of me, and it was like, oh my gosh, what if it's true? What if this whole time, my whole life, I've been figuring out ways to put up blocks how this couldn't be true, and this couldn't be true, and this is ridiculous, and this is just something people tell themselves. And what if it's true? Like, what if our whole world is designed for us, and if it looks that way because it really is? And what if it's not all an accident? And like, I don't know, just kind of this floodgates opened of all these possibilities of what if I'm wrong? What if I've been wrong this whole time? And what could that mean? And it was crazy. Like, I didn't expect it to happen. And when he asked if there was anybody there that wanted to receive Jesus, like, my hand just shut up. I came out of the service, and I will never forget this. So I went and gave Davey a hug, and they were so nice and everything. And I was talking to him, and I said, maybe this is why I met Amanda. And he looked at me, and he was so, like, just dead on. He was like, this is exactly why you met Amanda. I left that night, and it was like, what do I do with this now? I mean, I didn't know what to do with it. I kind of felt like I was a little bit in a sea lost, because I thought I had all these beliefs that I was so sure about that were science-based. So that made them real because they were science-based. And now all of a sudden, I'm talking about things that are supernatural, and I'm kind of starting to believe it. And I didn't know what to do with that. And so had I not been in an environment of people that were there to help me through it, I might have gotten stuck a little bit. But Davey and Amanda spent so much time with me, like at Starbucks, and hours talking to me and answering questions. And I started reading, like crazy reading. Like, I couldn't get enough. I just wanted to read book after book after book. If you would have told me 2 years ago that this is where I would be now, that I would be totally in love with a guy named Jesus and trying to learn as much as I can about his life when he was here and the ramifications for what that means in my afterlife, like, I would have thought you were crazy. Like, there's no way I would have believed that I could be where I am now, that I would be into this and believe it. I still fight it sometimes, but I'll never go back. I'll never go back to where I was as far as my way of thinking. Never.